because you know we're all about that action. Now it looks as though, right, this Florian Wirtz transfer to Liverpool is pretty much done and dusted. As you can see here, this is him. The title you're not going to see. Oh, fantastic! They just basically showed it. The title of the video you can't see, but they've added it to the screen. So Wirtz is pretty much here. Let's just have to put a little bit of volume here for you guys. But you can see the title that we've given the video here, which is why Wirtz won't live up to the 116 million price tag in the first 2 years. Now, we're going to give our justifications on this, guys, but at the same time as well, we're going to let you know that this is a perspective that is most likely going to be taken, and people are going to run with this, and it's mostly those people are going to be rival fans. Guys, Wirtz, this year, for us to see rival fans accept the fact that this guy is now lived up to the 116 million pound price tag, he would have to win the league for Liverpool and Champions League. Why do we say this? Well, it's very, very simple. If he wins it this year, they're going to be like, yeah, okay, that's fantastic. He needs to do it again, though, to solidify himself, right? But people will be like, well, they brought him in and he's essentially won the league for them, right? So what's the issue? I've not actually seen this video, and I've just realized that he didn't actually show up, basically, but it's all good. They're going to say, you know, he's won the league, so what's the issue? Is what Liverpool fans will say. He's won us the league. Well, they're going to say, well, did you guys win it last year? Cool. So if Liverpool now win it next year, this year, but if Liverpool now win it next year, they're going to be like, well, he just joined the train. It's not like he basically was at the last puzzle and then he won it. Liverpool done it last year without him, and with more so a squad that people say was maybe slightly weaker. So what difference did he really make? So really, for him to really live up to the price tag, guys, which is going to be very, very, very hard for him to do so in the first year, is for Liverpool to win the Champions League. That's probably not going to happen. I'm not saying Liverpool don't have a chance. I'm just saying that it's going to be very competitive, and Liverpool look like they're going to compete for the Premier League title and probably are the favourites. But in terms of doing both, may come too soon. May just come too soon. Not impossible, but there's a lot of competition out there right now. There's a lot of teams looking really, really good. A lot of teams are making purchases in here, and a lot of teams are keeping busy, right? So all in all, what we can definitely say is that you can see rival fans saying, yep, he's yes, if Liverpool win the league, great, but doesn't really prove anything. He needs to do this again next season. He's gonna have a relatively okay season, guys. And when we say okay, we mean that many people that are saying that are claiming he's not going to go crazy or whatever, and he's not going to do that well. Well, you can't. Personally, from our point of view, we're very realistic. So we're not looking for this guy to be absolute monster, right? When coming in and just like taking Liverpool somewhere crazy, it's probably going to take him a few months. We're looking at 6 to 12 months for him to really bed in, right? And this is normal, right? For someone to be able to take this. That amount of time to really make a change, this is normal. But rival fans are not going to see it that way. 100%. Liverpool fans, you know this. Liverpool fans, you know what's going to happen. So you have to start deciding right now how you're going to respond to this. How you're going to respond to the the statements they make, right? The jibes that they're going to be taking. Okay, how are we going to ignore this, or because that's the car he's in? Are we going to ignore this, or are we going to try to respond when you know to yourself they're probably going to try to be putting you guys in Lego, trying to get a reaction from you, basically, and they're going to say, oh, look, you see the first 5 games, he's not been great. Well, a lot of stuff is going to play into this. So let's just give our own reasoning and justification as to why we believe Wirtz, yes, he probably wouldn't. He probably is not going to live up to the 160 million pound price tag in the first 2 years, as he shouldn't really. That's not really his job right now, right? His job right now is to bed in, fit in, and then show that he can grow with Liverpool. He's not to come in and do a Messi type. But I'm telling you, Liverpool fans, they're going to expect this, because this price tag is a world record price tag. But let's just go into it. Right? Okay, so 116 million is the price tag, right? Liverpool's record fee. Cool. A lot of people right now are saying, because of the record fee, this guy is now, they're almost looking at him like he's like, oh, we're expecting him to be like I don't know, like the German Messi, which is just, come on, that is just, again, this is when you're dealing with rival fans, and this is what's gonna happen. And Liverpool have done it to other people as well. So let's just be honest, right? But what if we told you that Florian Wirtz won't live up to that price tag, right, on Merseyside until 24 months have kicked in. 24 months has kicked in, and then he starts just, we're going to start seeing really blending with these team, with these colleagues, basically, right? So we're looking at for already know how Liverpool operate. We're in a transfer market. They're very like analytical and so forth. This is what they look at. So we try to do the same, right? We're not on that level, but when we try to make our predictions, it's to do with research that we've done, right? So when you look into like this young man's life so far, so I mean, obviously everyone knows that he's German. He was actually born in a place called Polheim, basically in Germany. He's actually one of 12 siblings, guys, and his family are deeply involved in his career, in football in general. Actually, in fact, his parents are actually agents. His dad is a club chairman I forgot the name of the club, basically, but his dad is a club chairman, guys, right? So the reason why we're saying that there is going to be a initial, bedding in period for him, that people are going to start saying things like, oh, it's been 5 games, not done anything, and people are going to start, questioning things due to the price tag, is because when you look at his rise, I forgot the YouTube channel that documented his like teenage years and coming up, basically, right? But you start realizing that Wirtz has actually never had to fight for an opportunity, really. He's everywhere he's been the golden boy, right or wrong, right? So he's never, like in youth teams, he's never actually been dropped or anything. In fact, he was promoted quickly because he was just excelling in his age range. So it's been a smooth pathway for this guy, right? So slowly but surely, you can see how his mentality, right, has not necessarily been tested as of yet. We're not saying he doesn't have one. That doesn't have a strong mentality. And also, some people will say that, well, he's been injured, right? He had an ACL, which we'll get into later on. He's had an ACL injury, basically, and he's had to come back from that. So that lets you know that the young man has got a strong mentality. Fair enough, right? But this strong mentality also, this mentality, right? Can you really say it was really tested within a league that maybe is not as physical, or not as rambunctious, or fast paced as the English Premier League? Not that the German league isn't quality. Of course, it's quality, right? Clearly, it's quality, but you need to look at it from the point of view of the players that he's coming in with. Right, so you got one. It's very, very clear to us that the best performer is going to be Liverpool's potential new, which is almost wrapped up, left back, which is Kerkez. Right, Kerkez is probably going to be take that back. Kerkez is going to be the best player for Liverpool. That's going to hit the ground running and essentially be worth every penny. In fact, he's going to clearly, people are going to realize he was undervalued. Why are we saying this? Well, various factors that play into this. One of the factors that we're going to go into right now is the experience, right, you have playing within this league, right? Because we look at another arrival, right, Wirtz's Bayer Leverkusen teammate, right, which is, always forget his name, Frimpong. That's another player that's also got Premier League experience. Well, I don't say Premier League as in the top level, but he's played within England. He knows the style. So it's essentially him just, recollecting, harking back to what he used to do and then adapting again, right? So these are going to be very, very quickly, these type of things are going to be these action processes are going to be quickly adopted by these players, specifically Kirkers, because he's already here. There's no adapting. Frimpong will have to just quickly, again, think back to what he used to do before and just get used to it. This guy is gonna have to take time. The price tag doesn't help, right? Well, the second thing is, right, which is very obvious, and someone mentioned this on, was it Talk Sport? Somebody was talking about how, I think it was a Chelsea fan, talking about how he believes Kepa is going to be a better signing. What as this like in terms of like more worth it than this guy here, Wirtz, because of the price tag he's got and whatever. Kepa, listen, people are just going crazy. Listen, Bundesliga comfort versus EPL chaos is going to be a massive factor, right? He's very comfortable in Bundesliga, different style of play. He's going to have to come to a new style, come to a new setting basically, and really bed in, right? So in Germany, Wirtz, he thrives, because like there's space, right? There's space where he can kind of run behind. He likes to really take advantage of space as well. He's someone that can pick out a pass, or he's someone that can just, go all the way and just stick it at the back of the net, basically, right? So also within the in the German league, there's also patience, right? So there's patience in the build up as well, and it gives you time to be able to pick out like a great pass, or a great piece of skill to unlock defenses, right? So got to look at stuff like that as well as that the coaching systems that are built around him. So once again, this guy was the guy, right? Everything was built around him. So when we talked about his injury and so forth, it was like he was able to come back, but he came back, guys, and he was the star man. It was somewhat like they were giving him that opportunity, and when he came back as well, it's something where they can bring him back a bit more sooner, Whereas in the Premier League, it's just not a thing. Like, listen, just sit out for as long as you can because of the physical requirements needed for you to get back up to get back up to speed isn't easy in England, right? So he'll be facing in England, actually, he'll face non-stop pressing. So you got teams that just be pressing. Arsenal quite good at, that. I would say Man City, quite good pressing. Newcastle, high pressing team as well. There was a point in time Tottenham was very, very high pressing, basically. And I think that really, they suffered at the end of the, more towards the end of the season, basically. Just kind of just being like depleted, right, energy. But in terms of like physical duels as well, right, everybody knows the Premier League is very just, everything is just combative, There are very, there are athletic players that are just all over the place, and they kind of never get tired. A lot of these like new age midfielders, their tanks just never run out, basically, right? There's only like a tactical traps, right, that you get that are set within the Premier League. Many managers, right, that set up their teams in order to catch people out. So if you're a team that are known to play in one way, they can catch you out, basically. So these are the type of stuff you need to kind of really be very, very careful and kind of looking into, right? So, by the way, this is just a video we're gonna just be playing. So shout out to Scout Nation. This is not our video. We want to always give props to whoever it is. So there you go, Scout Nation. There's your tag there as well. So just letting people know, right? So we're now gonna go into injury psychology, right, and mental fragility, guys. This is something we've mentioned already, but we want to kind of go a bit more deep into that, right? So the main one that people know, right, is the ACL injury, right, that was suffered in 2022, in which essentially sidelined Wirtz for 10 months, right, which is very, very long time, and again, his mentality to get back into it was definitely helpful, right? So when you look back under Xabi Alonso, right, that time when he was trying to get back into the groove and so forth, he still vanished mid-season. Like, it was like a mid-season slump in 2022, where he kind of just wasn't really there. I guess he wasn't as prominent, but this is him just trying to just get back into the groove of things, right? And this is very, very normal, but you need to please bear in mind this was a young guy then. We're talking about somebody that then was around 19, right? Like 19 years of age. So you need to, yes, people will say that, oh, so this is hardly a warrior, but when things hit the fan, right, we just want to make sure that he seeks to battle and not safety, right? Because this is what he's used to, right? So in the English league, yes, you got this guy again on Talk Sport basically saying that Kepa's going to be a better signing, but the stuff that he did say, he said that English league is a different kettle of fish, and it's just like everything is really fast paced moving. He's going to have to get used to it. We actually agree, right? We believe that the first 6 months isn't going to be a walk in the park for Wirtz. It won't. It's not, and if it is, then we're looking at somebody that is a lot better than we think. I want people to really think about it. If you're expecting, especially Liverpool fans, if you're expecting him to like perform amazingly, right, as soon as he hits the ground running, even with pre-season, by the way, guys, even with pre-season games, that's not going to be easy, because you're still pre-season is very different to playing Premier League team week in, week out. Every other week you're playing intensity every other week. Guys, the pre-season is not going to be enough, right, for him to really get used to, right, the gameplay. This is why you got to look at it from the point of view in terms of his injury psychology. He's been able to come back, and do well, but he was young when he was doing it, and I mean, he's still young, right? But you start getting into, I guess into your like early 20s and so forth, injuries shouldn't be too much of an issue, right? But injuries are a lot easier, I guess, not easier, right? But in terms of physically, there's more chance and more time for you to try to fully recover and so forth when you're still in your teens and you're maybe suffering serious injuries, right? So, but you don't want to be doing it, maybe you're maybe pushing on your mid-20s. He's still 22, but within the next 18 months he's gonna officially start looking. He's basically pushing into his mid-20s there. So this is why you gotta be careful with the injury stuff. But mentally, he's shown that he can come back. So we'll see how that one pans out. Right now, from a tactical clash and a system risks point of view, right, we'll say that Liverpool's gameplay with them overlapping fullbacks and so forth, like defenders clashing and so forth, right. Klopp and Slot's, you could say that, especially, well, I mean, it started from Klopp, so we can't even say it was Slot basically, but Klopp really is the one that integrated that whole, like he built a tactical, like Coutinho-esque type, orchestrated team for Liverpool at the time. This is one that Slot could take advantage of with Wirtz, right? He can essentially start operating like a Coutinho, not exactly like Coutinho, because obviously they're completely two different people basically, but in terms of the style and so he might be able to kind of pull this off. But again, it's going to take him time to bed in and really get used to the pace of the Premier League. Once he does, though, that's where we're looking at. Because when you look at Liverpool's top players, right, are those that are they're getting on a bit. They're getting on a bit, right? So he's got that opportunity, right, to take on this mantle of being Liverpool's most important player. The only person that could have rivaled him is now gone, right? He was fairly young enough to be able to say, okay, he would now be like the guy, right, Liverpool look to. But in the next 2, max 3 years, Florian Wirtz could now be looking to be like the talisman for Liverpool, so these are stuff like to really think about, right? But though we say that Slot might want to implement a Coutinho-esque type style for Wirtz at Liverpool, the catch though is that the PL is going to drag him into defensive tracking. Not saying that he doesn't do that at all in the Bundesliga, but it's a different level though. Like we already know, that's what we're saying. The engine on some of these guys, on some of these midfielders, is just frightening, right? So, and he's tracking back, late shouts, and off the ball pressure, stuff like that, right? Everything he's never, well, I won't say never, but he's probably not had to cope with consistently and on like a ferocious level, a ferocious pace. That's how the English Premier League is. So again, the guy that was talking on Talk Sport trying to claim that Kepa is going to be a better signing or going to be more worth it, right? A more worthwhile signing than Wirtz, due to the fact that whatever he said. Yes, he was correct in the sense of Wirtz would have to adapt, and the Premier League is a different kettle of fish when it comes to like him trying to adapt in the gameplay. 100%, that is absolutely true. But Kepa being a what? No, mate, you think you lost it there, mate. All right. So just what we will say is this, though, right? This young man has had the capabilities since these times, right? So you can see from here. Okay, let's just turn that down for you. From here, this is a young Florian Wirtz, and he showed his quality from these. Okay, yeah. From these sort of clips, you could tell that the quality was there. Quality was absolutely there. For the people that want to say stuff like he's not gonna, Florian Wirtz will do well eventually. He needs to stay for long enough, though. We heard him say stuff like, again, you read it here. in this one where he says, "My dream was when I was a child, Barcelona." I mean, it hasn't changed. Ugh. That wasn't too long ago. I don't think this was posted. It says a year ago. I don't know if this wasn't actually a year ago, but if it was, just know that Liverpool's got plans. They shouldn't be surprised, right? So, bold prediction here, right? First 6 to 12 months, right? This is a time where we believe that he's going to struggle and have to adapt. But this is natural for him. If he doesn't, again, this is just a special, literal generational talent that people have not noticed yet. But we believe he will struggle in the first 6 to 8, he'll do relatively well, right? He will do relatively well. He might not even struggle, but he will do relatively well, and it will cause rival teams to say he's not worth it. These are just facts. 100%. Like, why wouldn't they? Is the question, right? So, bold prediction being, he'll shine in flashes, have some moments of magic, but he won't and he can't dominate consistently. Let's just say in the first 20 games, that's not happening. No, that's just won't happen. Again, it's a bold prediction, but if you can't stand on what you say, then what's the point in even having an opinion? So this is basically this is our opinion right here. All Action Sports. We're not afraid to say that, right? So expect 6 to 8 months, let's just say 6 to 12 months, right, of adaptation. He's gonna be fine one moment. Probably gonna be invisible in some of the next moments as well. That's definitely possible. But the price tag is heavy, right? We all know this. It's a heavy price tag, right? And we said 116. These are going to be add-ons. So Liverpool going to argue, "Oh, it's not completely." We're just saying what it is, right? Just say it as fully, and let's just say he does go on to, because I guess you want him to, right? To go on to do everything. So it's going to be 116 million, right? So the spotlight's going to be brutal. It's going to be very, very brutal. You are the most expensive Premier League player ever. We're going to see, again, this is going to affect some of his performances, we believe. This is a young player, guys. He's done very well, but he's still a young player that's going to need to get used to this, heavy pace. Like, what did Klopp say? Heavy metal football. Yeah, that's it. Subscribe to Scout Nation as well, guys. After you subscribe to All Action Sports. You feel me? Let's see, and I guess Wirtz, Mr. Florian Wirtz, it's not going to be an easy ride for you, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be I guess, liked by you. But the good thing, and which is the harsh truth, basically, is that he's not going to go bust. People saying he's not going to make it, whatever, is nonsense. This guy's not going to not become good. And it might not even, which is unlikely. But even if it doesn't work out in Liverpool, him going somewhere else and just he's going to become. Just know that he's going to become. But we think it's likely to be at Liverpool. But they're talking about how he's talking about Barcelona, or whatever. Cool. But even if it's not at Liverpool, he's going to become like the Florian Wirtz many people are expecting him to be. People were praising him when he was at Bayer Leverkusen. Now he's gone to a team, that's not theirs. Liverpool fans would have done the same. They would have been saying he's, too expensive, whatever. Had it been Man City that signed this guy, let's not lie, for 115 million, 16 million, whatever, Liverpool would be saying the same thing, right? So that's pretty. Listen, we ask you, do you agree or not? Do you think that the first 2 years is going to be one of him doing okay? It's not going to be out of this world. Maybe you think he's going to be out of this world. We don't think he's going to be out of this world in the first 2 years. We think he's just going to bed in nicely. We're going to perform, quite okay. But then once he really, really dials in with his teammates, it's going to be explosive. It's going to be crazy. But do you agree, right? Or is he going to show people from day one that he is just that guy that you people think he is? You let us know. Because this is one of them topics that you got all rival fans, commenting. You got Liverpool fans celebrating as if they've already won the league already. Everyone needs to just chill and just realize that football is a very unpredictable game, and yeah, it's not over, and it's not even started until the fat lady starts. Well, in this instance, it's not started until the fat lady starts humming. But once you start singing, oh, you know, yeah, it's done. But we're gonna leave it. We're gonna keep it short as much as possible we can here. We've gone on quite long, so end it right here, guys. Let us know. Please subscribe, like, comment, and let us know what you think. Signing out. All Action Sports.